Qlash, take it away, gents.
All right, see the actually, was that a skipped ban from Ace there?
It does indeed look like Ace.
We're gonna remake.
Just kidding.
Get the draft remade. It looks like it was a little bug with the client. It does happen sometimes with the private draft mode, but we'll be getting back on into this one shortly. I'm assuming that they don't want to just skip a ban going into the grand finals here. Or maybe they're just that confident and say, hey, we already beat you 2-0. We're not even going to ban anything away. But we'll see, though. They are going to be going ahead and at least hovering over to Lyra for a first ban. Ace has been very consistent with their bans throughout the day.
Yes, they have, sticking to the support bans, taking them off the board. We saw Qlash utilize Lyra very, very effectively. They're going to want to try and replicate that same success here in the finals. This is the last opportunities for both of these two teams representing their countries in their regions to leave it all out on the floor and give it everything that they've got.
Lyra, Finn, Yates, and the final ban is going to be that Anka taken off the board. So Lorelei is available, and this is a pick that Ace, when they got their hands on it, absolutely hard carried.
Water Wall, such a strong ability to put into the mix, keeping your carries very healthy, keeping them safe. And then on top of that, you have the stun from the fish foods, and then you've got the big pools to slow down the enemy team, which is absolutely devastating into the late game.
Also keep in mind that in the previous game where they got the Lorelei, they played it in the jungle. It was Tassa that actually took this Lorelei, and it allowed them to push so hard. This was the first game of the day that they got this Lorelei in their hands and used the Lorelei along with their top laner to just shove all the way down to the enemy armory turret very, very quickly on. So Qlash need to be aware that that is something that could potentially be happening again.
Yes, it could be. Qlash locking in the Kinetic and the Reza. They've seen success with these two picks. Ace, two quick picks in Ardent and Scarf coming in. They know exactly how they want to execute into the finals matchup. They've had time to study this team, watching them play coming up out of the losers bracket. They know exactly how they want to draft, and it seems like things are going exactly how they expected.
The Adagio going to get picked up here for the side of Qlash. We've seen a lot of Adagio today. And it's had kind of mixed success. Like, there's some games where it feels like it has a massive impact, and then other games where it feels like it's not really able to do anything at all. So Qlash obviously going to be hoping for the former there, but it's all about what you put around it. Because obviously the heal can be very good if you put it in the support role. You can get some good damage, but it's often picked up as a counter to the Reza. So this could just be Qlash saying, you know what, we don't want to go against the Adagio if we have the Reza on the team, and just utilizing it in that way.
Glaive being hovered by Darklon, not a hero that we've seen too much today. I think just once, and it did find success. So Ace might be looking to replicate that same sort of execution. The second a carry gets caught out of position, Glaive finding those absolutely critical afterburns.
Also, I think this is the second time today now that Turnwalker's just left available and nobody's picked it up. It's been banned in almost every game. And now 2 times in our 2 most recent series, it's just let through the whole draft.
I definitely think that that is very, very interesting. Qlash has one final pick to define their draft. It almost certainly will be their mid laner. They were hovering Celeste earlier. They're on Vox now. It's going to be very interesting to see. They do indeed go with the Vox.
Vox has just been a staple of the tournament, and obviously going to be hoping that it can ride that to a win, but not a whole lot of tankiness on the side of Qlash outside of that flicker, really. So that they're going to have to be very careful with something like the Glaive and the Lorelei. They can just get caught out very, very easily, and if they do, Silvernail can just chunk through any one of those members.
Yeah, they need to be very careful. Both these teams looking very poised, calm, collected going into this final game here.
Again, a stereotypical Korean build here. Late game carries all over the place. The later this game goes, the scaling on their side. This is the first time we've seen Qlash with a less tanky team. And they've had success trying to get other teams to play their game, to pick bad fights. We'll get to see if they're able to do that again without as much beef, you know, Turnwalker, nothing like that. So nothing left to do except get yourselves ready and hype for the final game, the final series. Game 1 of the VPL World Invitational, brought to you by Razer Phone 2. Gents, casters, the captain to my heart, Joe, and Humanist, take it away.
Thank you very much, D-Gon. You're absolutely right. It's time for our grand finals. Ace up against Qlash. Can you believe this is the finals we've got in front of us today? Absolute Cinderella story for Qlash and absolute dominance for Ace.
Well, if that's a legit question, no, couldn't believe it. I don't think it's a story anybody could have written. Well, actually, we have some pretty creative folks around here, but I'm just excited to see Qlash here. What have they learned moving through that lower bracket on the way? They have played a lot of Vainglory today.
They really have. They've had an opportunity to have a little bit of a break while I rinsed you on Sovereign's Rise momentarily.
Delphi did.
Well, Delphi did. I'm still going to take credit. Oh, Krax is in trouble. What a way to start things off. Just gets away with his life, though.
Yeah, a little fish food landing, but not food for the fishes just yet. You can feel the pressure coming out in that bottom lane. Up in top, I'm so excited to see a Glaive out on the rise. I mean, this is a hero that fell out of favor, but really has so much to offer.
And it was Sweetbox that was playing it earlier on today as well. As me and Bacon were casting that game, I believe that was, I want to say the first series that we saw out of Tribe. I think they picked it in game number 2, I want to say. I don't know why I'm trying to remember the specifics right now, but certainly Sweetbox was impressive on the Glaive. We saw some good afterburns from him, and I expect to see the same thing here. As Krax just about getting away with his life. Once again, Krax is not having a fun time with it so far.
Yeah, Krax, you got to say it's calculated, right? He gets out on a sliver of health, he'll go ahead and port back. The thing is, he's going to get some items, get back to lane. Keanu absorbing a lot of damage out of Shauna and Darklon in this mid lane here. Techno JJ, he's just looking to farm. He wants to try and avoid these Spitfires at all costs. First blood down at the bottom line. Blame the cameraman. Just kidding. T-Tor's over here. They find the kill. It's your first blood. Ace have struck.
They certainly have. And well, what a way to start things off. Just 2.5 minutes into the game as well. Already kicking off with a bang. And it was Tyrus that went down. He's been one of the, you know, the absolute leaders for Qlash across the course of this series. He was one of the ones being proactive in the early game, getting them leads in previous games. So the fact that he's gone down could be a bad omen for the likes of Qlash.
I think it's going to be okay. You know, one of the things about Qlash today is that they've been so resilient. Even when their back was against the wall, they still managed to find a way to come back. There was no tilting. It was just, hey, we've got a job to do. Let's execute.
Honestly, same thing can be said for Ace as well. When we get to the late game stages, it doesn't matter how many turrets are up. It doesn't matter what the gold is like. Either of these teams is more than capable, and they've proven it today, of making a miracle comeback.
3.5 minutes into game 1 of our finals here, and it's just 1 kill on the board, although pressure coming out from Ace as they'll take their first turret down in this bottom lane, and basically easy for them. A little minion candy, nobody there to defend it. They realize, you know, there's just too much pressure coming out, and simultaneously they're going to make the rotation up into the top lane, but afterburn, easy peasy. I mean, you can engage with this ability, you can disengage with this ability. That's why I love this hero.
Yeah, it's the amount of distance that you manage to pull off when you go for that afterburn of max range. It's such a powerful tool for the side of Sweetbox. He's going to be more than happy just getting away with his life. Didn't actually get any turret damage down, but still going to be happy to survive. And also, we've got Techno JJ here on the Vox. Once again, it's going to be this CP Vox. It's not going to be going over to Hundor this time, as he's on the Kinetic. Techno, he's known for his Vox. We were talking about it a little bit earlier on today. This is a hero he's played a ton of back in 3v3.
Oh, yeah.
And those
like
mechanics you don't
bread
forget.
and butter here. I'm really curious. Talk to me about this Scarf. Like, what does the Scarf have to achieve in this game?
Well, I mean, it's Shanna playing it, so immediately you know that he's going to be completely stable during these fights. But the biggest thing that I want to see coming out from him is be willing to go for a huge Dragon's Breath play. Get that ultimate going, use your boots, get onto the enemy team. So many times we see the Dragon's Breath come out and the Scarves kind of and ah, they turn around, they don't really commit. Go for it, make it happen.
Right.
It's do or die. We're in the grand finals.
You're in the grand finals, yeah. And I would expect Ace, you know, they're this kind of squad. They're so coordinated. They probably don't throw that ability out unless the call has been made. But hey, we'll see. Maybe Qlash can apply enough pressure to get them scattered, panicked. Some of these abilities come out, they hesitate, and then it can backfire. But yeah, Shauna on the Scarf, we got to keep our eyes on. And it's Keanu trying to hold this lane down until his ally makes it back out to this lane. Techno had dipped down into the jungle, but he's back just in time. Won't be missing any last hits.
Certainly will not. Creation as well. Let's just take a moment here. He's on the silver nail. This is a mechanical champion. This is only for the very best. And well, Creation has proven that he is in the past.
Oh, they got this.
Happen. Sweetbox is in trouble. He goes down. Goodbye, Rainbow.
Goodbye, Rainbow. Good night, Brent Sweetbox down, and that was really well played. See, if Tyrus on the flicker can kind of read where that afterburn's going to go, get into position, it's so toxic, the slow coming out there. You get the root. There's no getting away from that.
Yeah, it's very difficult to pull away from that kind of situation. Even with the afterburn, we were talking about it earlier, such a great
I feel like you
escape
borderline
tool.
have to let them engage on you completely and then afterburn out of it.
Yeah, try and wait until they've committed everything and find the way out in the last second. It's so difficult, but yeah, they're on the world stage. There's so much pressure on these players' shoulders. It's so difficult to make those perfect decisions in the heat of the moment.
Well, the heat of the moment is just getting spicier and spicier here. You see Qlash actually making a strong shot call down towards the Ghost Wing, capturing this up as 5. Ace don't have any vision. They might have an idea, but nobody's made a rotation. Now Tasa getting into position. The rest are there. Creation trying to make something happen, but Ghost Wing over to Qlash, and an excellent take on this objective here early in the game.
I love this from Qlash as well. You know, even now, people are still calling them the underdogs coming on into the final, but I love the confidence they're walking in with.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
Like, we don't care what the expectation is. We're still going to walk in. We're going to be confident. We're going to make plays.
I mean, they should be confident after the performance that they put on today. And if you remember back earlier when they did face up against Ace, when they shook Ace, when Ace was making some weird rotations and plays, is when Qlash was setting the tempo. So this is exactly what they need to be doing to get to those win objectives.
We'll have to find out what Ace are going to do to answer for the Ghost Claw. I don't think it's going to be too
Which
big
one's
of an
the Ghost
impact.
Claw? Is that the third objective they snuck in there in the last update?
That's the third time
Should
I've
have
done
read
that
the
today.
patch notes, Humanist. Dang. Ghost Wing and Black Claw got together and had
when
a third
two dragons love each other very
very much.
Ooh, good ult from Creation coming out here. Keanu to go trying to find the kill.
Oh, he gets the water wall perfectly.
Baited
the fountain coming
and
out,
outsmarted.
cracks. Keanu, they still want to get something, but they just don't have lockdown.
Here.
Do they have the damage?
Hello,
my fish food. Techno JJ, he's sweaty, trying to get into position. Gauntlet comes down from Darklon. He'll just boot on out of it. He's had enough of it. But they're playing, it almost felt like Ace is playing scared.
Man, the coordination, though, from Ace, they're like juggling aggro. It's like Qlash might as well be NPCs in World of Warcraft, the way that they're just playing with who they attack. It's unbelievable.
I mean, have you ever seen such a dominant region in Vainglory? Whoa, Shauna getting lit up there, caught out almost just by surprise. Sweetbox barely lives. Thank that fountain. Yeah, a perfect fountain coming out from his buddy there. But Qlash just applying pressure exactly on those pressure points, and it is working out for them early here as we just about to get right into the mid-game situation here. We're going to start to see the second tier 3 items coming out for a lot of these heroes very soon.
Cracks getting a good chunk of damage onto that bottom lane turret, but not able to finish the job. Same thing in the mid lane. They're going to push a little bit. They're going to get a tiny bit of damage done, but they're not going to be able to finish the job just yet. The question is, where did Qlash go next? Because they've been the ones on the front foot so far this game. It's very much been them setting the pace. However, they've not been able to pull too much away from their opponents just yet.
So it's a couple minutes before we're going to see a Black Claw objective on the map. My guess is we're going to see Tyrus set the pace with this flicker, a Mooncloak to get them in position. Before they do that, they're going to have to make sure that they control vision. If they get some scout cams down, they know that they're safe. That's when they'll make the move. For now, though, they take the advantage up in this top lane. They'll be able to get the turret as rotations come in, but it's too little too late. Another turret going down in favor of Qlash.
Yeah, complete map control right now favor of Qlash. And the Mooncloak comes on through. Sweetbox is in trouble. Qlash find themselves another kill.
This is phenomenal. Qlash
This-
absolutely setting the pace of this game. Everything that Ace is doing is just reactive to what Qlash is doing.
And look, Hundor finishes 2 items, gets an infusion, and immediately they start to make plays. They abuse this power spike. They are not going to rest on their laurels here in the final.
Loving it. And as for now applying a bit of pressure in the mid lane, as Krax makes his way down to that bot lane, he's got to clear this out. There was a big wave stacking up, and you can't allow that to crash in. So it's kind of reset the lanes, get him into the position you want, and potentially an invade into the jungle, but Qlash, they can't get overconfident here.
Yeah, you don't want to bite off more than you can chew, because we know that Ace is more than willing to capitalize on that kind of situation. But everyone's starting to group up towards this mid lane now. This could be the siege in favor of Qlash.
It really could. One of the things is that we got to see Sweetbox get onto a squishy target. One of the key objectives. There eventually will be a lot of damage coming out between Creation, between Tasa, even Shauna, but they have to get there, and they're not there just yet. I mean, this Scarf, you got to spell fire. You need to get your next item up and running.
Yeah, I'd love to see Ace try and force a siege themselves, try and out-rotate Qlash maybe. You've got a Scarf, you've got a Lorelei. These guys can take turrets real quick. I want to see them abuse that power.
Let's see if they can do it. Krax is in a dangerous position, but it is a Reza. It's time to dance, baby. Little troublemaker.
Land.
Whoop! I'm over here. Some broken ankle. Somebody call a doctor. Krax playing some games. Netherform detonator still out of there. Gauntlet comes down, but Qlash ready to engage. Look for the wait for it coming out towards Ace. Defensive afterburns. Qlash loses one. Fish food lands. Looks like they may lose two. The fountain comes out just in time. Tyrus stays alive.
The water wall.
Hundor, can he get the damage? It looks like he might get it. Is it going to tick down? No, the tick damage not enough. Ace, don't lose anybody on a sliver of health. Juggling that damage, phenomenal plays coming out.
Amazing stuff from Ace. Hundo gutted on the back of that fight.
Yeah,
Two
that was
targets
feel
walking
super
away.
bad, man.
It's the same thing that happened to Truth earlier in the base. Everyone just narrowly.
But it's part of the draft. Uh-oh, what are you guys doing? Qlash walked in. They dropped the scout cam, but surprise, surprise. Ace waiting in the wings. They will find the Adagio and now have advantage. What will it be? What is on the menu, Sir Munchables?
Well, fish and chips hopefully later on tonight, but right now in the game, not a lot
Don't
for
tease me.
Ace.
Don't tease me.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Right, we see them get a pick, but unfortunately they're not. The minion waves aren't in a particularly good position. The positioning of the players isn't fantastic for taking any objectives, so they're managing to get these little snippets of gold, but they're not able to transfer that much into these turrets. It's so difficult, especially against the CP box, to push these waves.
I'm looking at this, and Tyrus is having a bit of trouble having a large impact for the last couple minutes, and I think part of that is because the laning phase has started to break down, and that's where the Flicker really shines. Is you make those rotations into the side lanes, you use the numbers advantage, you use the element of surprise, and you're going to get picks into turrets. But right now, as the teams start to clump up, it becomes harder and harder for him to do that.
And I think to bolster your point as well, he's up against Lorelei, he's up against Arden. These guys are so difficult to hard engage on. They have so much peel for the rest of their team, and that's one of the big things that Flicker offers once you get into the later stages is that Mooncloak hard engage ultimate.
Krax, trouble making back. Sweetbox finds the afterburn. Tetno's got to reposition. He's getting lit up. Tasa booting forward. Will he get the kill? Nope. Fountain's out. He will stay alive, but that was a precarious position to be in.
Really great discipline from Krax, though. Knows he doesn't need to use his ultimate from him. He's going to be just about okay with that one because of that fountain coming out from his teammate, Kiana Nakoa. Great communication from them. Incredible
communication coming out here. Now look at Flicker. Going invis, he's going to move in, try to scout for his team. Actually, they know exactly what's happening. Voot's right in the middle. First, a Judgment comes out. Afterburn back, blocked off the first. Wait for it, right down the choke point. They got to keep this Vox live. Krax is the target, but a double kill coming out for the Silver now. As Ace have full control over this fight. There's nothing that Qlash couldn't do in that moment. It just all went wrong.
It certainly did. They tried to force the situation, but the CP Vox, just not enough items right now. Still only on those 2 items. Doesn't have the Dragon's Eye, so can't stack over the course of the fight. Oh, Tenno JJ needs to be a little bit careful. They did stop the Ghost Wing, though. That's one of the main things here. However, it's been started again, and Ace can burn through his health bar.
Yeah, and Techno can't allow himself to be engaged upon either. There is a scout cam down for Ace, so they're going to get the Ghost Wing and move up in time. This is really exactly what Ace wants, and exactly what Qlash was looking to avoid. So some major mistakes being made in the last minute there as Ace start to take a strong control over this game.
The last couple of minutes, Qlash have gone from dominating the map to completely losing control of what's going on right now. Ace are now setting the tempo for the rest of the game, and it's going to be down to Qlash responding.
Let's see what they can put together. We see items finally starting to come together. Hundor's at 3 items. He was always one of those players that loved to get that 3-4 item power spike and start to shine. He knows where he can push his advantage here. They know the Black Claw take is happening. Rez is on the other side of the map, not even making the push happen. Keanu engaged upon. Good night, Keanu. They get wrecked after burn. They've got a second engage. They're looking for 3. Is a burn, baby, burn.
What a fight from Ace, just annihilating the members from Qlash. They committed way too early. The rest of the team wasn't ready, and that is a Black Claw gifted to Ace.
Man, that was just like, it almost felt like Qlash didn't have a clue of how hard Ace could go in that moment.
Well, things started off fantastically for Qlash, but right now it is all about Team Ace. They are looking phenomenal. They have been all day long, and as soon as you let them get control of anything like Hundor's health bar, they will run away with that lead.
Yeah, there is not much you can do about that except for positioning. You cannot allow yourself to get caught, because once you're caught up against this lineup, up against this team right here, right now, you're going down, and it shows.
Sweetbox.
Let's see what they can do. Gauntlets down into the base. Is Ace about to close this game out
Dragon's
here?
Breath.
They're doing the
Shanna.
best that they can. Shauna, he's healing up. Look at the regeneration coming out from Ace. It's 12-3, 17 minutes in. They finished this game. Wow.
Unbelievable.
We figured Ace had the advantage coming into this. They had the advantage in that earlier series. Qlash was playing well, but Ace just turned this thing up.
Man, we were talking about late game comebacks. We were talking about this is going to go the full way, late game team. Ace are having none of it.
Yeah.
They want to end this game. They want to end this tournament and walk home with a trophy. You can see Keanu Nakoa right there. He knows they've got to change things up coming into game number 2. But Ace, look at their faces. They're quite happy with the situation, but not going to get too ahead of themselves just yet.
Yeah, I mean, they're cool, calm, and collected. This team knows what it's like to win. They shouldn't be surprised with the results here at all.
Look at Creation score.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's reasonable.
I don't know what to say about that one.
All right, well, I think I know 3 people that will know what to say about that one. Degon, talk to me.
I'll talk to you whenever you want, Munch. How about that for game 1? 12-3 is your score, 1-0. One game away is the East Asian representatives, Team Ace. And, you know, it looked like things never really got going, and then it tied up there in the middle, and then just a couple of team fights back and forth. Team Ace find themselves on top.
Yeah, this is kind of how that previous series between Ace and Qlash went as well, where Qlash would hang with them for the first half of the game or so, but then once it came time for the team fighting, Ace just is the superior squad in that regard, and that's been what's won them all of the games thus far today.
Such a clean way to close things out. They knew exactly how they wanted to execute. They executed absolutely perfectly. Found the engage they needed when they knew Reza wasn't with the rest of the team, punishing Qlash very, very heavily for it. It's a very easy adjustment to make. Just stay grouped as 5, late game. They do it. Ace does it phenomenally well. Qlash definitely needs to take a page out of their notebook.
Qlash found a quick team fight, but Ace get the win. Let's take a listen on how they did that with our Razor replay.
나이스.
Double kill.
야, 와. 그냥 이거 쳐.
Just with that pick, Ace able to head on over to Black Claw and run it down mid and find themselves the victory. A couple of close fights, and I think there's something to be said for the counter-team fighting prowess of Qlash. You know, we always talk mechanics, creation, Tasa, the guys that have been there over and over again, specifically last year. However, even though they were behind a little bit, Qlash found themselves a couple of victories there in those fights and just kept it really, really close. Just a couple of auto attacks, a spell here, a spell there, and maybe the fights go a different way, don't they?
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how these teams go about making adjustments as we get the draft underway for game number 2 of the finals. Taking Anka and Yates off the board very quickly. I like both of those choices by both these teams.
Reza also going to be banned away. Expect to maybe see a Lorelei here. It is going to be Lorelei taken off the board by Ace. They know the power of that hero for sure. They don't want to let Qlash get their hands on it. And Qlash first picking this Kinetic. It's been kind of the trend all day long. This Kinetic is getting first picked very, very frequently, but now Ace, they have plenty of power picks up their sleeve that they can grab. The Lyra, for instance, one of these heroes that's been banned away a lot. Churnwalker's open, although no one's really been... We saw Churnwalker, I think, once or twice early on, but everyone seems to have just forgotten about him.
I would be absolutely shocked. Yeah, there is the Lyra pick of Ace. I was going to say if Ace didn't take Lyra here, given the fact of how many times she's been banned. Scarf today has been seeing so much light of day, a ton of success for the teams that are able to channel the Dragon's Breath at the opportune time from the optimum positioning and just absolutely melting through everyone. Pairing that with a Spellfire is just devastating.
Maline, however, is the one that does get locked in instead. And Maline's another one that we've been seeing quite a bit from throughout the day. Finn will get locked in for Qlash. Keanu Nakoa had some phenomenal hooks in their series against Tribe. And in the game that clinched it for them, it was a Finn hook that sealed the deal for the side of Qlash. So definitely something that Team Ace is going to have to be very much aware of, is getting vision on this Finn so that they can reflex block as many of those pulls as possible.
Force the Core, definitely one of those abilities that top tier captains, as everyone is here, normally don't really struggle with blocking. But I think that the way that Keanu Nakoa has set them up through these walls at maximum distance, so hard to predict when the only part coming through the wall is the absolute end of it and you don't see it channeled at all.
I mean, at one point, the casters were saying there's 3 Crucibles for the side of Tribe. The only way you get pulled is if you intentionally let it happen, and then instantly Tribe got pulled in with a Force Accord. So definitely Keanu Nakoa has been on point with that ultimate. But over on the side of Ace, they answer the Kinetic with a Silver Nail, and then there's that Scarf as well.
Great choices for the side of Ace, just heroes that they're playing super well. Qlash taking a page from Ace. There's the Sandhill coming through, a little bit of mixed results here today, but it's definitely going to be very interesting to see its effectiveness. Ace definitely missing that tanky front line to be able to deal with those repetitive mouse and verdicts just coming in, devastating the enemy team.
It's interesting right now because you say Ace is missing the tanky front line. Qlash is kind of missing that, burst assassin that can dive onto this squishy back line. So it's a little bit interesting that they're both missing what feels like a key component to have against this lineup that Ace has picked up. And oh boy, are they really gonna take a Celeste here and have Lyra be their only sort of like durable hero whatsoever? This would be such a risky composition for Ace, but if anyone's gonna pull it off, it's Team Ace.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief. Qlash so well in their games against North America. I think that they were very diligent about choosing where it was that they wanted to team fight, and based on Ace's composition, if they can get ahead, if Qlash can get ahead in this early game and dictate the positioning of these team fights and fight in corridors and choke points where those Maliks and Verdicts are splashing onto everyone, that is going to pay dividends and helping them find success here in game number 2. This is do or die scenario for the side of Qlash.
Could potentially be our final game of the day of 2018. It's all up to Qlash to try and extend it one game further.
Yeah, in this draft, it looks like the team's flip-flop positions. Qlash going back to the tanky front line for their carries. Will it be enough to slow down Team Ace and reverse the bracket? Let's find out and head on over to our casters, Munch and Humanist. Guys, I love you. Take it away.
Game number 2, Qlash against the ropes right now as Ace march defiantly towards that championship trophy. Are they going to do it, Humanist? You tell me.
Yeah, probably. These guys are playing lights out. This is really scary. They've been dominant all day long. Do Qlash have a chance? Yes, they do. Will they have to play near perfectly? Yes,
Absolutely.
they will. Only time will tell. I think Qlash have got a draft to do it here, but they're going to have to put it all together.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how things change up with Sweetbox swapping roles a little bit, going with the majors. You know, Glaive and Maline, very different styles of play, but he was a huge factor in Ace's win in game number 1. I'm curious to see if they can still snowball in the same way with him on that different pick.
Yeah, I mean, these pro players, it's a whole different ballgame than your average Vainglory player, right? So these guys, they're going to know exactly what they need to do with this different play style. Sure, it's a completely different style of pick, but he's going to know, hey, this is how far I have to stay for engages. This is how far I can push my limits. And for Sweetbox, I think this is a great pick for him because the Maline can put herself into sticky situations and then bail out.
Maline is one of those really slippery heroes. It's just so difficult to punish. They can play so aggressive. It's kind of like a Vox as well, where you can play as aggressively as you want and you can almost always get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like that. I would say even scarier cracks. The Self Vanguard stays alive. I don't even know if there's a Healing Flask as well, but taking a lot of damage stacking up there. Looks like he's going to go ahead and port back his Ace, stack the damage up here on that top turret, and doing a great job.
Yeah, that classic top versus bot kind of turret trade that we see every single game, but it's Ace that always seems to win that trade.
And this is a bit earlier than what we tend to see. I mean,
yeah,
between
2 minutes.
4 and 6 minutes is when we typically see this go down for most professional matches, but this is really fast.
You guys at home have played, right? Like, it takes a lot of damage to kill a turret early on in the first couple of minutes of the game. They're incredibly difficult to burn down, so the speed at which Ace have done that is honestly phenomenal.
It really is, and I mean, part of that is that they force that Healing Flask and the TP back from Cracks, and once he ports back, they just go full ham onto that turret. You look to the other side of the map, and Sweetbox, he's doing a great job. The pressure's just not really coming out here for Qlash just yet. I mean, it's a different hero style down in this bottom lane, but still, you have to respect what Ace has done.
You really do. I mean, you have to respect Ace in every single way right now. They have been playing a stellar game all day long, and I don't expect that to change. Just more into, for them, they're hoping the last game of the day. The question will be, what have Qlash got left up their sleeves? Do they have an ace in the hole? Do they have something left to surprise their opponents?
Well, they have an ace on the other side of the map that is currently not working out for them. Look at the damage they're coming out. That is no joke. I mean, how do you deal with that?
You base. That's it. That's all you can do. Scarf, unbeatable. It's confirmed. Here we go. 3 players bot, though.
So 3 players have gone to Bud, but this is in response to what Ace have done. So they take that top turret, then they rotate some pressure down into bottom, and you can see this forces this kind of just reactive play out of Qlash. And as we talked about before, Qlash, they played best when they were setting the tempo, and right now that is just not the case.
It feels like they've kind of lost their mojo in this early game, honestly. I want to see them making moves. I want to see Tyrus around the map like he did on Anara earlier today. He was making things happen, winning games. But so far, they've played incredibly passively. They're going for a much safer style. However, they do have this Tony. It's a very comfortable pick for Tyrus. It's something he's played a lot over, well, basically since he came out. It's been one of his mains, and I'm excited to see some of the plays later on. But Tony, you know, you need to get a little bit tanky before you can really make the moves.
Yeah, I mean, there's some natural durability in the
double
hero.
ton.
Double Quibble coming through. Nice damage, but no follow-up there. And, you know, it's nice to be landing these abilities, but what does it get for them? They're spending so much time, so many heroes down on the bottom half of this map, They got pressure on the T2 in the top lane. The T1's getting chunked down in the mid lane. Ace are basically like, yo, I'll take this, one of these, one of those, free 99. This is all Ace right now.
Yeah, Ace are loving every second of this. They've got a map basically for free at this stage, and we've got to see something out of Qlash. We've got to see some signs of life. Don't just go down without a fight. Force some skirmishes, make something happen, go for a rotation that Ace won't be expecting.
All right, so let's talk about how that's going to happen. Right now, Ace has full advantage on the map. They've taken more turrets down. They have control in vision and in the jungle. So this is going to mean Techno JJ, he's got to get this first item completed. They have to get Kiana Nakoa in position to that level 8 overdriven Quibble. They got to have some of these stuns. He has to be able to tank up. But really, Techno JJ, he's got to get that perfect drifting dart, let that Malice and Verdict splash, and let Hundor find the key targets to take down.
Techno straight out of there with the boots. We'll see if they can find those key targets, if they can even find the team fights, because we've seen Ace is more than happy to just never fight in the entire game. They're more than happy to just play this macro style, rotate around the map and just steal objectives. So far, Qlash are allowing that to happen, but they've got to find a way in. Here we go. I say that. They're forcing the fights now.
Hundor able to boot back and get himself out of that 4-man gank squad rotation from Ace, which is really important for Qlash. The fact that Hundor stays alive there, a big deal. But as scout cam's down, you see as the rotation from Qlash through that rush, there's scout cam from Ace. So Ace know exactly what is happening. They know there's at least 4 here.
Oh, yeah.
They're all of Qlash down here. Are they going to start this Ghost Swing up? I feel like that would be a bold move.
It would, but it would be a way to force the fight that we've been talking about. The question is, are they tanky enough to just sit on Ghost Wing while it hammers away at the health bar?
There's no read on the map from Qlash right now. Maline's up in the top lane. They had 5 people grouped up down there. Munch, I think that was the call. Either you force the fight in your opponent's jungle, or you got to try and take one of these objectives. You can't just let Maline push this lane for free.
Yeah, Crack's going to get on in there and try and do some damage, but
how?
He doesn't have any damage in his inventory. He's literally got a book. That's all.
Vanguard the turret.
Words don't do that much damage unless they're insults.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but
cracks will never hurt me.
Yeah, thank you for finishing that one out there. My man picking it up. Keanu makes the rotation over as well. You're in polite company, but it's just not doing much for Qlash just yet.
Certainly is not. Well, Qlash did manage to get themselves a kill there onto Shanna elsewhere on the map. The question for me is, can they find themselves an objective? Can they find themselves in any kind of control? Because Ace pretty much have free reign. I feel like we're kind of repeating ourselves at this stage, but honestly...
Oh, you are at least. I feel like I mixed it up pretty well.
All right, cheers, buddy. Appreciate that. But they're putting on a masterclass of how to rotate perfectly, how to just stay away from your opponent and just maneuver better.
Yeah, it's really been great. This is really just kind of basically a clinic on how to play Vainglory to the max. They set the pace, and here's the thing: when you can set the pace for a game, it puts you into the rhythm of the game, right? So the waves are where you want them, when you want them. That means that you can take the objectives, and it gets the game becomes so much easier for you when there's pressure on the other side of the map, and you're able to take the objective right over here.
And I think one of the big things there as well is, you know, when you're setting the tempo of the game, it's like you don't even need to shot call. You know, you can like feel what the next objective is. It just feels natural. Like you get the Ghost Wing, you manage to win the fight. You know that it's the mid turret next. You know it's the Black Claw next. You know it just feels right to go for those objectives.
Let's see. This feels right to Ace, but it might feel wrong very soon here. No, that's going to be the take by Ace. A bit of a contest coming out of Qlash. Is one of the first real kind of offensive plays they've made thus far into the game. I mean, we're 9 minutes in, and that's the first like actual attempt at anything I've seen come out of the squad.
Honestly, right now, it feels a little bit like this is a exhausted Qlash, because it's just not got the same feeling as we've had in the previous games. They're not contesting in the same way. They're not in the right position to even contest. And it's difficult.
I mean, I've seen teams lose Worlds Finals quicker than this.
That's true.
You know,
that's true.
Not going to be one for the history books. Qlash definitely putting up a good fight thus far.
You're wrong. This is absolutely one for the history books. Even if Qlash lose this game, they've absolutely made history here today. They can, even if Qlash
I mean,
do
can
go
people
home
say
right
EU
now.
greater than NA? Is that a thing?
I can say it.
Yeah, you definitely
I'm gonna
could.
say
I
it.
wouldn't dare say it, though. Not going to happen. I mean, I love the EU players. Definitely, I'm so proud of them.
We'll
to
let
be
you guys
in
at home
this
decide.
position.
Tweet us #VPL, EU greater than NA, or NA greater than EU. Let us know.
All right, press 1 in the chat for NA, press 2 in the chat for EU. That's 1 for NA, 2 for EU, guys. But we are 10 minutes into this one. There's only 1 kill on the scoreboard right now. This just slow and methodical play out of Ace as they pick their opponents apart.
1 for NA, 2 for EU. PogChamp for East Asia.
Yeah, drop the pogs all over, man. Make it rain right now. I'm looking at Qlash. Let's talk about what's coming together. So a Clockwork was completed for Tetno, so he's got a Spellfire Clockwork building into the 3rd item. Tyrus has his Spell Sword, Tier 2 boots building up. War Treads Fountain completed over for Keanu. You have a Weapon Infusion on Hundor plus his Sorrow Blade, Poison Shiv. So these items are coming together. They have the ability to find some picks if they can get onto key targets.
Now, I think we've been giving Ace a little bit too much credit here. When we look at the gold, there is actually only a 3,000 gold lead right now. This is not over. Qlash are not actually out of the tournament just yet. They can still absolutely win, and we've seen them make much bigger comebacks than this here today. I'm not giving up on EU just yet. I'm not giving up on Qlash. Ace have been in control of the map, and once we get to those team fights, so far, things have slowed down. Ace have been struggling to actually continue to grind out those objectives.
I mean, they have the ability to create like really chaotic fights.
Yeah.
You imagine Gauntlet goes down, bada boom in the thick of it, forced to court, get over here. I mean, you could isolate some key targets and really shake things up, but they're gonna have to actually make the decision to engage. They can't play this kind of
This
play
is
footsie with
scout
their. So they're trying to.
It was a good effort.
Yeah, a
It was
little
good effort.
surprise, a little party brush.
It's the thought
there.
that counts.
Yeah, sometimes. Not at that one right there. For Ace, it's all about what objectives they can take off the map. Ghostwing has landed once again. Ace are in position. Both teams getting some scout cams down. And Qlash, it does feel like Qlash are kind of antsy to get an engage here.
Yeah. I mean, the weight of the world is on their shoulders quite literally right now. If they lose one big fight, that could be enough to snowball into a victory for Ace over the next couple of minutes following. But we'll see if they can select the engage that they need. The biggest thing, though, is they need to be engaging. Don't allow yourself just to be picked apart. If one person just... That's how the last game ended, was Keanu just got caught out of position. Someone just gets picked, and the rest just follows. It all collapses like dominoes.
Yeah, I mean, I think the worst thing would be if you never give yourself a chance and you get picked and go down. It's kind of like you're playing baseball. You never watch the 3rd strike go through. Like, you got to swing at it. And Qlash, they're in this moment with their back against the wall. They have to make some sort of play happen. They can't allow Ace to just continuously take objectives off the map here. They're capable of doing it. Honestly, it's probably going to happen in the next 60 seconds here. You can see both teams up around Black
Here we go. We've been talking about it. Tyrus.
Bit of damage.
Looking for the trash talk.
Dripping into the shadow,
nice block,
sweet
nice
block.
block.
And that's the Maline, so slippery, but they're fully committing, finally fully committing, and I like it.
Not slippery enough.
Not slippery enough. Indeed, they get the kill, so it's a 25-second respawn.
What are we even talking about? Ace aren't ahead. They've got 2 kills to nothing. That's how this works, right?
Yeah, kills are everything in this game. But honestly, Qlash somehow getting the kill at a time where the respawn's just long enough that it's a 4 versus 5 situation. Look with Tasa. Helios over the wall. Will he be able to steal this? He's waiting. Nice timing so far. Solar Storm flies, but Scarf's going to be able to secure that one.
Techno JJ down in the bottom lane will be able to clear out this minion wave, stop the split push going on. And now, Blacklaw pushing down the mid. Like, it was Arden, I think, got it in the end.
Scarf got the turret in bottom.
Yeah, Scarf got the trade down in the bottom side of the map, but the siege begins. Creation dodging away from the taunt. Nice little bit of micro from him.
Ace flex on Qlash. They kind of back them off the Blacklaw. Blacklaw down 40%, 30% health. Looks like they get 1 turret out of this.
At least they get something.
Yeah, they got something out of this. And Hondur is up in this top lane. Is he going to chunk this down? It looks like he probably gets the T1
He's backed
there.
He's backed away.
Okay.
Maline heads on up. Sweetbox going to be able to deter him from that objective. And Sweetbox has been an incredibly impressive player across the course of today.
I think that's my favorite in-game name of the entire tournament.
Sweetbox?
Yeah.
It's a good one for sure.
It's just smooth.
I really like Darklon. I don't know why. I don't know what it means. I just think it's a good name.
I like it.
I have no reasoning whatsoever.
When your firstborn's like, Dad, why'd you do this to me? You're like, well.
Well, there was this one Korean player. Kind of liked his name.
Back in 2018, son.
Way back when.
Yeah. Well, right now, though, Ace continue to just dominate this map. Yeah, they don't have any kills, but they have all of the key objectives, minus that one Blacklaw right there.
Yeah, can we... We're 15 minutes in and there's been 2 kills in the grand final. This is so tense for both teams. They're both so nervous to commit to any real team fights right now. But a Ghost Wing might be what is required to spark some
Vision's
action.
down. There is Vision down in the pit. Qlash know what's happening. They have. They're just
the
bada
boom!
Bada boom over the wall.
Celeste gets it.
Looks like they got the damage here in the
It's
pit.
a kill for Qlash.
1-4 Kinetic right here. Now looking for more. 4 versus 5. The chase is on. Nice dodge out by the Maline.
Oh,
Still
Hundor.
gets chased down as Hundor has the damage there, has the weapon buff on his person. Really nice plays as Qlash make the engage.
All right, 2 kills for a Ghost Wing. I'd say that's a fairly even trade across the map. It depends what happens next. It
Hundor
depends.
booting forward, trying to make the engage.
Looking for something. Techno JJ just trying to get some poke out, trying to get the cleave going with his Samuel.
There is no fountain here.
Oh, the
It's gonna
pull
be
into
a
Creation.
pull-in on the Creation. He's got a lot of damage stacking up against him. He gets back, but
Oh,
all of
they've got
Qlash
it
are
back.
pretty low. They do not have a fountain to heal them up. That's actually such a dangerous situation. I think way more dangerous than it actually feels like on the map.
Yeah, get out of there, Qlash. It's done with at this point. There is nothing more in this play except for defeat. So they are going to head on back to their base. Tyra's clearing the wave up in the top lane in the meantime, making sure that doesn't build up too much. If you allow those captain minions to stack, that will comfortably take turrets on its own.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one thing about Vainglory. Those waves, they stack up on their own. You have to keep your eye on it. They'll take it down. And what's really cool is, like, if you get a big wave built up, you throw one of those minion candies. If you're in position, you can just rotate hard across the other side of the map.
Yeah, you really can. And if you can distract them for long enough, like we said, it will just plow on through. Does it split push for itself? And now you can see Ace posturing around the bottom side of the map, but they've decided to rotate up once again as Tyrus looks to finish off this turret. He has that minion candy on the wave. The question is, what's the rest of his team doing right now? Because Ace are posturing around Blacklaw.
Well, his team is in a safe position, so they're not going to be engaged upon. I think they have an idea of what's going on, and they start to rotate forward. Ward treads in. Keanu's made the call. They're in position. Drifting Dart goes down.
Ooh,
Splashes on the first hit. They can't move forward. You got to be so careful. It does feel like Ace is baiting them in. Blacklaw has applied Mortal Wound onto Qlash. Qlash, what's play going to be? Polite Company.
Go.
This is exactly what they need. Tyrus finds the sun onto the Maline. Maline drops into shadows here. A portal from Darklon. Fountain comes out. Ace stays
This is
alive.
looking
A
good
lot
for
of damage
Qlash.
stacking up. Shauna will go on down. Hundor finding the damage that he needed. That's 1 kill, but 30 seconds on the respawn. And surprise, surprise, deja vu. Qlash back into the pit, onto the Blacklaw, and Ace are going to try to do this again.
Only 1 kill. There's still a Celeste on the map right here. Tassa has more than
Go.
the capability
Hundor,
to
go.
poke, to
Go.
steal. Hundor ready to make a play if the opportunity shows itself. They want to try and secure this objective. In the meantime, there's a split push in the bottom lane. Sweetbox
It's
is
so
looking for an
smart.
armory.
It is so smart. This got really awkward, really fast
They
here.
have to finish
Qlash
this right now.
zoning. They don't have the damage on the Blacklaw. It's taking way too long. Sweetbox takes the turret in the bottom lane. This is super awkward. Let's see who's going to
There it
get
is. All
this.
right,
All
all
right,
right.
Kinetic gets it.
Someone's based as well to try and defend this. Tyrus will be able to hold him off. They don't get the armory. Qlash have survived the situation, but that looked dicey for them.
Super dicey.
The fact that they got a kill and then we're in that situation is crazy to me.
It's really crazy. I think, they just didn't account for where Sweetbox was on the map. And as you said, Celeste is still alive, so they had to respect the damage and control that comes out of this hero fighting through a choke point in the jungle, in that position. Blacklaw gonna melt a little bit of damage onto this base turret, but Qlash, please be careful.
Tyrus isn't here.
Arcane Passage in, Bulwark down,
This is a
Dragon's Breath
4v5.
winds up. It's time to burn. Let's see, Shauna trying to look for the key targets, but this is that hesitant Dragon's Breath that you
Teleport boots.
mentioned earlier. Qlash, they're looking for some sort of engage. Kiana Nicole holding a fountain for his team. Look at the poise, just really holding that to the last minute. We still have a Crucible ready for cracks. They could have hung around, but I think Qlash, they've had enough of that.
Yeah, Ace still yet to get a kill at all in this game, despite how many fights have been happening, despite the fact that they still feel like they are well and truly in this game.
How crazy would it be to win the World Championship without a single kill in your game?
That would be insane.
Nah.
It would be absolutely
That's
insane.
actually, I mean, that's just such like fundamental play, and honestly, like coming into this tournament, that's exactly what I expected as a play style out of this Ace squad.
It would be insane, but if there was any team on the planet that could do it, it would be Ace. These guys, the way that they play the map, the way that they control every single situation, you can see how it happens. You can like visualize it in front of you, but I'm trying to visualize a Ghost Wing for themselves right now, but
Keanu wraps
JJ
around
starts
the
to do serious
bottom.
damage.
Ace forced out. They're going to War Tread back. A lot of damage onto Maline. Once again,
Keanu.
they've debated it. They've lost Keanu. Solar Storm lands onto 2. Huge damage onto Hundor. They got to go ahead and reposition him back there. Hundor booting, barely staying alive, turns around. Little pot shot, but it's not going to be enough to take anybody down. Besides this Scarf here, 4 versus 3. Ghost Wing will go over to Ace. Just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, they get a couple of kills on the board as well for good measure. They finally got something to work with. Oh, Creation's going in though. This is going to be huge for them. Getting yet another kill on the board, and now they're looking down the mid lane.
Yeah, absolutely disastrous play for Qlash. Ace onto this middle turret. They'll take this down in the blink of an eye. Probably looking for more. You can see they're super confident, but we have respawns coming through. I don't think this is going to be it just yet, but super confident calls coming through.
Dude, 20 seconds on Arden. I was thinking they could play with that if Scarf buys the teleport boots. It was possible, but they're going to play it safe. I think this is the
Delphi
right
plays.
Yeah.
All right.
I think this is the right call, not to go for anything too crazy right now. You're completely in control of everything. Don't throw that away for no reason. Shanna wanting to clear away this bottom lane, and I think rightly so with how many minions there were there.
Ooh, let's just take a moment, just kind of like reassess where we are, how we got here in this game. You know, Ace just running through that winner's bracket, Qlash plowing through the lowers bracket.
Ace are on the cusp of grabbing the title that has eluded them for a solid year. They so close back in 2017, pipped at the post by Tribe, and now attempt number 2. It's looking phenomenal for them. This is the last hurdle in their way. And Qlash, after a miracle run through the tournament, now against the ropes once more. They need yet another miracle comeback, but we've seen them do it before. It's very possible.
It is very possible indeed here, but things are just getting sweatier and sweatier as time goes on. We're about 23 minutes in, 7-3 in favor of Qlash. Qlash make the engage as Black Claw was started up.
They're going for the back door. This is what they did back in the
cameraman to get back. There is no defense. They're going to burn this down. Ace with the surprise play to lock in the Vainglory World Championship. How about them apples?
You want to see Matt play? That is how you bait someone in. 2 people
we're going for Black Claw. I'm over here.
Teleport boots.
Hello.
I said Shannon was going to buy teleport boots. I didn't think it was actually going to happen. They force the end. They win the World Championship.
Absolutely phenomenal play coming out of Ace. They close it out with the bang. I mean, that was just a thing of beauty. So well executed. And you can see, I don't think Qlash even saw that coming.
No, definitely not. I mean, the fact that all 5 of them went for the fight onto 2, then suddenly
they were like,
where is everyone?
Go, 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 go. We got the advantage, right?
And that must have been such a heartbreaking moment for those players. You could see the handshakes going on stage. Ace finally taking the title that eluded them for so long, and a well-deserved title too.
Absolutely. And, you know, Qlash, of course, you want to win the finals, right?
Oh, yeah.
You want to win the World Championship, but at the same time, I think they outperformed not only the general spectators' expectations coming, but not only that, their own expectations. You know, they almost surprised themselves, which is really a thing of beauty.
And I think one of the biggest things for Qlash is just they outdid their region's reputation. You know, they proved that Europe is no longer just like this team that turns up and gets defeated. Qlash have put themselves on the map. Phenomenal stuff coming out from Team Ace though. They are your world champions. I'm going to pass it back over once again to our wonderful analyst.